Hey guys, I've been a bit lazy this season, to be honest. Winter is coming and I just wanted to address some things with the 964. For those of you who saw my last video, might have seen that the clock turned the 200k, which was a bit of a sad moment, to be honest, because it's now officially not only an old car, but also one with a lot of kilometers. But nevertheless, the car has always been a driver's car, and I don't want it to just park in my garage for the next years, some years. What I've been enjoying the most, to be honest, is taking the little one out in the car. She enjoys it so much, and it's just pure joy to see her enjoy and even rest in the car. She's falling asleep in the car regularly, and it's just very sweet to see that. The car got a major inspection right before I took the car out for the Heizer event near Stuttgart. Then I have another error, another problem that I mentioned in several videos, but I didn't quite got my head around it up until now, or at least the day of the inspection, because I told the Porsche specialist about it and they told me that probably the clock was an issue, which I also read in several forums. And so the problem was that every once in a while when I turn on the car, the indicator for the battery charge is not lit, and I have that to PDAS and the all-wheel drive and the LED down here, which is turned on, and this marks a problem with the battery being below 9 volts. But that's not really the problem, because there is a control light in there, and when this is not working, it tells the engine that it is not charging, and this is exactly the problem. So the problem lays in this very unit, which has to be fixed. The easy fix right now is just to take it out and twist on the connector, which makes the thing run again. I think that I found another issue with the car, which I also always talk about, and this is regarding the petrol smell in the front trunk. So I'm complaining about fuel smell for, well, as long as I can think about owning this car, and I've mended, or think that I've mended, several problems on the tank already. But if you could just smell what I smell right now, sometimes when I take the car for a longer road trip or a longer trip, I immediately have a headache just after arriving, and I think that I can make like a connection between both things, because the firewall is really thin, and when I had my gorgeous uninstalled, you could see through this part of said firewall, and I guess that's the problem. So the gas fumes, they accumulate in this front bit, and they cannot escape except through that hole in the firewall. The third thing, and it might not be a surprise for some of you, but it's my air conditioning. We took the car for a road trip with my wife to the Ed Sheeran concert in Düsseldorf, and we came across problems with the AC, because at some point when it was getting hotter outside, I'm not talking about 30 degrees, because it was like maximum of 24 degrees, the performance of the AC was like turned down, but I didn't understand it, and I was already very frustrated, because I was thinking, okay, now it's the gas has escaped again, etc. But I don't know what the real problem was. What's really bothering me is that if you turn the control unit to 3, the air that's coming out, it's really like, it's like coming out not at the speed that I would like to have. Yeah, this is also again something to address. Another thing that has been on my mind for the longest time are the color pattern on my brakes. I think that the red goes pretty well with the silver, but I don't know if you can tell, but the condition of them are very, very bad. So the Porsche logo is like all faded. I have some spots where there's like no color. I have some squeaky brakes too on the rear, I guess. And I just want to refurbish the entire braking system and choose the right color for the calipers, because as I mentioned, the red goes very well with the silver, but it's not up to my taste, to be honest. So I've been going back and forth like many of you Porsche enthusiasts, thinking about maybe yellow, but yellow, big no-go because ceramic brakes. Then I thought about making them black. That would just be so boring. I mean, you just won't see anything, and especially with these wheels, I think that the caliper has to have its presence too. Then I thought about going with something crazy, a color that I absolutely love and that I could use as a pattern to have like a repetition in, let's say, the interior or something. And then the classic solution would be silver on silver paint, which is tempting me the most. But yeah, this is something I will have to rethink, and maybe you could tell me in the comments what you think, what color you would choose to go with my wheels. Yeah, that would be 4 of the things that I would consider doing over the winter. And yeah, for next year, since our girl is going to be 4 years old, I think she will be staying in this seat even more. And I even think about taking her to the Porsche Spa-Francorchamps days. But yeah, that's something I have to figure out yet. But other than that, the car is extremely reliable. I've been driving it every time the weather allows it. I enjoy it. I take it out whenever I can. So it is now been over, let's say, 2 months that I last took out the camera, and you can obviously tell that winter is here, and the garage and the cars, they are an absolute mess. As you can also tell, the cars have been switched, so my Mark II is now sitting below the 964, which is under a red car pyjama. Yeah, it has been cleaned and is sitting up there waiting for the mods and yeah, the things to happen to the car. Meanwhile, I did a purchase. So I finally took a move and I ordered that famous like inlet for the fuel tank right from Porsche. Yeah, so I still find it hard to believe that this part costs 600 euros from Porsche. Okay, it looks like a high quality part, obviously, but at the end it's just a bit of plastic in quite a complex shape with some metal inlets. Right, so the time finally came that I can switch out the undertray. I don't know if I told you already, but I had a service done on the 964, but not from my engine builder because it was just too far away to bring it every time I had an oil change done. So I took it to a local Porsche expert. Unfortunately, he had a lot of 964s in the shop at the time, and so he accidentally switched out the undertray. So this is not actually the undertray that the car came with. I know because I had it once laying on the floor, and so I let this lift down and I cracked a little part from that undertray. Mine is not like shattered on this edge. I confronted them with that and they told me no problem. We have a very good undertray laying around. We can give it to you, just install it and bring back the old one. So that's what I'm going to do and see which one is better, and maybe I'll just keep this one on. That's also an option. So as you can see, there are better and less good parts on each of it, because on this one the heat shield is pretty much new. Same here. This one looks dirty and a bit knackered, to be honest. This has some sort of strip thing or something, and this doesn't have that at all. I don't know what's under there. So maybe it's like some sort of heat protection for the heat exchanger. I'll have to check which one I choose. But I think I'm going to go with this one. Well, one more thing that came to the eyes of the Porsche expert that did the inspection on it was that there is a leak, an oil leak on a freshly rebuilt engine. They cleaned it all up because it was all over the place, obviously, because I took the car for several road trips in the meantime, and yeah, the leak is still there, and you can tell that the oil is coming from this screw. I contacted the engine builder and they said, okay, come and we will check it out, because I have a 2-year warranty on the rebuild, so I think they can still do something about it. Other than that, the car looks still very good shape, to be honest, considering how hard I drive it and where I took it. Still have some things to do, like those arms. I want to have them replaced because the bushes are no longer as they should. Let me get the other undertray on there and then take the car down for more work. So now the car is down. Just let me take off the cover to reveal beautiful silver clean car for once. Normally the car is up there all filthy and dirty, but this time I cleaned it before I put it up in the air for winter. Yeah, so I need to open up the frunk. Yeah, you would probably not be able to smell this, obviously, but the gas smell is pretty strong. What did I do to get rid of the smell for now? So I changed this seal, then I changed out those hoses because they once were too big, and I thought that maybe this was leaking out of there, but this problem still persists. So now let's see how I'm going to get this part out. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting job. Okay, so it is very tight in there, but I managed to take the upper hose out of the way, and the bottom one has completely been taken out, which is right here. And I also wanted to make sure that before I replace the expensive parts, that less expensive parts than this rubber hose is not damaged before I put it back together. Take the cap off, which looks absolutely hideous. I mean, oh my god. I will have to have this replaced at some point as well. It matches the cover and the brakes, but I don't like red, so everything is going to go. So this part is going to go in there, and it looks a whole lot nicer than this one. And I think that this part has been welded. If you can see, just down there you see those 4 holes, and there is one spot that looks like it has been welded. One step further, so this is some sort of plastic ring to prevent the nozzle from moving around. This is that spring which keeps this one in place, and now I'm about to set this one free one-handed. Okay, so alive with me taking it out for the first time. Okay, that was way easier than I thought, and just like I thought, this thing looks not broken. I hope that this is going to fit still. I mean, the top part is of a 993, as you can tell, and it has obviously been upgraded. The new nozzle is now in there. As you can see, I cleaned everything up so that it is nice and shiny again. The new part is now in, as you can tell. and I already connected the big hose to the tank, and now I'm going to fit the small one to the upper part and then tighten all of the clamps down once more, let all of the gases escape the frunk, and then come back maybe tomorrow or after tomorrow to see whether this thing has now fixed anything, or if this just was some repair job that was useless or down the drain. But well. Hey guys, so 1 week later, and I'm finally going to check on the gas fumes in the frunk. Yeah, I'm going to take this one down now to see whether this has changed anything or not. I think the smells have pretty much disappeared. Yeah, obviously you can still smell a bit of old car. I think that replacing this part has improved the smells in the frunk. So I'm going to move on to my next project, which will be taking off the front bumper, because I have a lot of screws or holes from screws from the different previous owners. So I'm going to remove the front bumper, and I talked to my paint shop and they said that they could even remove these nozzles. I didn't remember that this job was such a hard one to do, because okay, maybe last time I did it I had the wheels removed, but since it is now parked on these soft cushions, I was not able to get it off these rams, and even on this lift I'm not really in a position of putting up the car to remove, let's say, the inner wheel well, etc. So this was a bit of a hard one, since this is a very, very tight gap, and to get some tools in there is very tricky. But those screws have now been removed. These plastic bits have been unscrewed, so I think that the bumper is only holding on to those 3 or 4 bolts right under that front seal. Right, so these are the pipes that go towards the nozzles, and I said that they were disconnected, but I'm pretty sure that, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but this one looks like it's full of washer fluid. So if I disconnect this one now, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to make a huge mess. So first I need to reroute those and see whether I can disconnect the pump that's somewhere in there. But yeah, at least the bumper is now off, or sort of off. I will have to disconnect this pipe in order to, well, yeah, take the bumper off entirely. Whilst removing those bottom plastic bits, I realized in which rough shape they actually are, so I'd probably give them to my paint shop too, and maybe get them a little bit nicer, or at least fixed, because yeah, those scratches, they are very deep in there. Or maybe I just look for some replacement parts which are in a better shape, because I don't know if the painter will be able to reproduce this ABS texture. As I thought, the hose was completely filled with washer fluid. At the same time, we can see that I've been in there quite a lot. You can also see a lot of overspray when maybe the entire car has been resprayed at some point. Whilst being at the topic of respraying, since the bumper is going to be resprayed, I'm also thinking about respraying the parts that I can get off pretty easily and which are bothering me. The most annoying thing is that I have a dent. You can see it very clearly on there, on the ring of my headlight. So now I'm going to show you the bumper. Let me jump over my lift and walk over here. So yeah, I have my bumper right here now, and I can show you these holes once more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 bolts or 12 holes for fixing some license plates in the past. I'm not going to be able to turn around the bumper now with single-handedly, but those inlets are screwed from the inside. Maybe if I come around here, yeah, this might work. So there's a screw right there, and I had to cut out the, let's say, the back of the bumper for the fog light to get these longer RS ducts in there. Maybe if I'm thinking about adding brake cooling or brake ducts at some point, I'll be able to, because this could be a real functional inlet to cool something at some point. So again, the nozzles, I think that they will going to be history. And yeah, this grill is also in the roughest shape. It always has been. It is cracked and it doesn't hold in there anymore. So I already have a replacement part for this grill. For now, I'll just leave it there and bring it to the paint shop maybe next week to get an idea on what this is going to cost, and to see whether they can fit the new grill or not. So before I forget, I didn't mention this in any of my videos because I was just enjoying my road trips, but yeah, I will probably be fitting this radio temporarily in order to see whether I'm liking having a stereo system in my car or not. For longer trips, it's getting a bit boring inside and loud, so maybe it's not the best of the ideas to get it in there, and maybe even check for the electronics. So this is something I'm also trying to do over the next weeks. For now, I'm going to leave this here, bring it back up, take the Mark II in, and keep you updated on the bumper.